And now on the Joe Bev Show, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the expose matter. Johnny Dollar.
This is Mrs. Green, Mr. Dollar.
Who?
Mrs. Green. Lester Green, the author, is my son. In the paper I read, you are bodyguarding here, Lester, now.
Oh, well, I'm afraid that story isn't quite true, Mrs. Green. I think your son planted it for publicity.
Publicity? He's in danger.
I don't think so. The insurance company that took out the special policy on him is just sending me in to check, that's all.
That's all? He's in danger. When he started this book, I told him, you can't write the truth about people like that. Make him stop, Mr. Dollar. These people he writes about will hire gunmen. They'll have him killed. I know they
The transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, East Coast Underwriters, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of my expenditures during the investigation of the expose matter. Expense account item 1, $20, transportation and incidentals between Hartford and the Hotel Bentley, New York City, and the room of Lester Green. Author incipient of a promised tell-all entitled Expose.
It's open. Come on in. Hello. Who are you?
Johnny Dollar from the insurance company.
Wonderful. They sent you.
It's a job.
Sit down. Let me finish one line. I'll be right with you.
Go right ahead.
There. Are they serious?
The insurance people? I don't know. I don't think they know. They don't mind these publicity-type policies, but they began to wonder when that columnist in the Express ran that blurb about you're receiving threatening notes. I didn't see it myself.
It's pretty good. Something about the figurative crunching of toes being stepped on by Lester Green.
Was it a plant, or are the notes on the level?
All I know about them is that they came to me. I thought I might as well get some publicity out of them.
What have you done with them?
I had them photostated. I want to use them for the epilogue of my book. If I ever get that far, here they are.
Thanks.
Typical layouts, aren't they? Aren't they usually made up of pasted newspaper and magazine print?
Some of them are. Where were they mailed?
All three from different spots. One from Queens, this one from the 34th Street substation, and the other from the main post office.
Do you have any guesses?
It's going to be a pretty hot book, and will cover a lot of territory. I'm naming names, addresses, and dates.
And you've planted too much publicity.
Maybe you're right. The point is the notes could have come from any of 50 people who are afraid to have the truth about them printed. Maybe I never should have started, but I can't let them scare me out now. Help yourself to the manuscript. I've got an appointment for a shave and a manicure.
I have never been entertained by the flapping of unclean linen or the clattering of suddenly uncloseted family skeletons. And those ingredients were all I found in the already completed part 1 of the manuscript, titled Society. It was 3 chapters, listing indiscretions, imprudences, transgressions, slips, peccadillos, and sins, all committed by members of some of America's better-known families and other somewhat famous personalities. I didn't know why anybody would waste time writing a thing like it, and when he returned to his room, I told him so.
Why? Some psychiatrists say writers are introverted peeping toms. Maybe that's why.
This is none of my business, but it sounds like some of the incidents in your book were more innocent than you make them out. Why do you want to hurt those people?
I want to write a book that makes some money. Sensationalism will do that for me. I see no reason to balk at violating their ivory towers if I have to. It's time somebody did.
Well, it's your affair, I guess. I'm only glad I'm not working for a company that insured you against slander suits.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'll see if I can't quote you on the dust jacket.
It would probably be the truest quote in the book. I've jotted down the names of 23 people who could be hurt enough to want to see you put out of the way. Do you think they know you're writing about them?
I haven't made a secret of the book. Why are you going to do the list?
If I have to, I'll try to talk with those who live here in New York. But at the moment, they seem to be of a class that would resort to lawyers and not poison-penned notes. Are you needling anyone else that I don't know about?
Yeah. Do you remember King Mackenzie?
Mackenzie? The one that was sentenced with Luciano?
King Mackenzie.
What about him? He's a good boy these days.
Only good enough to own a few plush hotels and a castle at Sneed's Landing. All that's for public consumption. But what I'm learning about him isn't. I'll let you read it later this afternoon when I've finished part 2.
How are you learning it?
From an ex-cop who used to be with Mackenzie right after he came out of prison.
What does he say about the notes?
He hasn't mentioned them. I haven't either.
But you were afraid it would scare him out.
That's right.
I think it's time to tell him. If he knows Mackenzie, maybe he can give me something to go on.
All right. I've gotten all I want from him. His name is Paul Arno. Here's the street number. 7th Avenue, apartment 14.
Thanks. I'll give him a try. By the way, your mother phoned me in Hartford before I left. She's worried about you.
My mother? Not my mother. She's in Mexico City. She goes down there every summer.
The fact that the phone call had been a fake didn't seem important to me then. It seemed to mean only that somebody knew I was on the case, and that they could have learned by reading the newspaper. I found Paul Arno's address on 7th Avenue, a crumbling walk-up that so far had withstood the ravages of civic improvement.
Oh, who are you?
Paul Arno?
Yeah, that's right.
My name is Dollar. I'm an insurance investigator looking into some threatening notes Lester Green has received.
Well,
He told me you've been helping him with some information of King Mackenzie. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
well, come on in. I'm not Paul Arno. I'm his brother. Paul's in the other room. He's been beaten up. I think he's dead.
Where, this way?
Yeah.
Good God!
They must have hated him. Hey, better not touch him. I called the police.
The phone is off the hook.
That's the way it was when I came in. I put it back that way after I used it. Is he dead?
Yeah. Do you live here too?
No, I was at work. Paul phoned me and said he was hurt and for me to come over.
What else did he say?
I couldn't understand him. He could hardly talk, just grunt. I told him once that something like this would happen, that somebody would beat him to death or knife him in an alley, but he never would listen to me because I'm younger.
What do you know about King Mackenzie?
Well, I remember his name from the old days. He's the one that got Paul fired off the force. But he was a rotten cop anyway. He worked for Mackenzie for a while, and then he got booted out of there too. He couldn't hold on to anything, even if it was crooked. I'm glad Pa's dead. If he wasn't, this would do it.
Do you know anything about his old friends?
I don't think Paul had any friends. I didn't know anything about the gang he hung out with because, I wouldn't listen to him talk about them. He kept trying to drag me in with him, you know. For what? This?
I guess we better wait in the other room. Here come your police.
Which one of you is Dollar?
I am.
The sergeant just gave me your statement. I think you're crazy.
Thanks. What makes you think so?
Mackenzie's too honest these days to do things like this.
He could have it done.
Why?
Finish reading my statement. The writer I mentioned, Lester Green, claims he got some current dirt on him from the dead man.
What is it?
I don't know. But you could make him cough it up.
Where is this Green?
Hotel Bentley. I'll take you or one of your men over there if you want.
Emerson!
Yes, sir.
Take charge until Streeter gets here. Tell him I'm following a lead with one of the witnesses, and I'll phone.
Right.
All right, Dollar. The brother tells me that bum used to be on the force.
From what he says, it's hardly one of New York's finest.
Yeah, I heard there was a day when a crooked officer wasn't given the privilege of being dismissed.
Oh?
The way I heard it, he went into a room with an unidentified superior and was later listed as a suicide.
Third floor.
Down here. Hey, what's that?
Huh?
Outside his door, part of his manuscript. The rest of it was inside, part of a pile of torn and crumpled paper that overflowed the wastebasket. Littered over the floor were the contents of the now empty dresser and desk drawers, closet, and luggage. The bed had been stripped, the rug lifted. Of Lester Green, there wasn't a sign, but the lieutenant and I went to work on what we had at hand.
Well, get him down here as fast as you can. Yeah, all right. Well, hurry it up. They just changed shifts on the elevators. The operator who brought us up wasn't on duty. The telephone girl remembers a man who called. Said he was a druggist with a delivery for Green and had misplaced his room number. She gave it to him. The rooms on the other side of this were vacant at the time.
What do you think of the Mackenzie idea now?
It'll have to be a lot more than an idea, even if it's right. We have to have more proof to touch him than we would for an honest man. He's got more ins.
How the devil do you go about ghosting a man out of a hotel through a crowded lobby without anybody noticing it?
I don't know. Come on, let's go down and see if we can drum up some kind of answers.
We did, but they were all negative answers. Nobody questioned had seen Green leave. A report was sent to the missing persons detail. The police lab men went over the room with no results. And finally, at 7 that evening, we found ourselves with nothing left to explore at the hotel but the cocktail lounge. Expense account item 2, see enclosed bar tabs. It's amazing how long you can look for something and not find it, only to have it find you. The lieutenant had left, and I had started out for dinner. 2 men stopped me, not 20 yards from the hotel entrance. It was as simple as that.
Your name is Johnny Dollar, and you've got yourself in a whale of trouble.
It's nice of you boys to worry about me, but I don't want your sympathy.
I'm glad to hear. You stopped right by our car. Should we ride the rest of the way? Open it up, Mel.
Who wants me where?
We can talk on the way. Get in.
Well, sure, if you say so.
Hey, wait. Is that your cop friend across the street?
Where?
I don't think...
To save myself another rap behind the ear, after I came to my senses, I feigned unconsciousness for the rest of the trip. I couldn't look, but from the number and the length of the stops at traffic signals, it seemed that we were crossing the big avenues and heading cross town. But that's the best I could do. When we stopped, I let them carry me out of the car and into a building, into a kitchen filled with garlic and strong coffee smells, where I heard a voice I'd heard before.
What's the matter with him? You didn't kill him? Nah, he's just out. We'll put him on the floor. Roll him over and loosen his tie. What did you do to him? He shouldn't be out this long. Get out of the way. He's not out. Come on, drop the act, Dollar. Get up. Get up, or you got my foot. Who are you? A friend, if you let me be.
Judging from the introduction, I don't think I'd like that. I want to sit down. My head aches.
Move the chair away from the table. Put him over here, with his back to the wall. Here, let me help you.
Get away. I want some of that coffee.
Get him some, Klein. Yeah. It's too bad, honey, but there always has to be someone who wants to start trouble. What good is it going to do to hurt King Mackenzie?
What difference does it make to you?
I've been a friend of his for a long time. I used to be his girl before he went to prison. Here's his coffee. Here you are, honey. Be careful, it's hot. King still calls me once in a while when he needs help, and I do what I can. I certainly owe him that. He read about you in the paper and asked me to phone you in Hartford to see if the story was true. You remember, I called myself Mrs. Green?
Yeah. Yes, Mrs. Green.
King used to be a hard man, but not anymore. It wouldn't do to stir things up. We want you to tell us where that stuff Green wrote is, and we want you to warn him not to write about it or talk about it anymore.
What are you giving me? You've already stopped Green. Where have you got him?
I don't have him. Not yet, anyway.
What about his room?
He wasn't there, and neither was the papers about Mackenzie. Where are they?
I don't know.
Wise up! Klein! You aren't gonna get any place with him. Leave him alone! Listen, honey, we'd like to manage this without any trouble, if we could.
It's too late. That gossip monger already started his smear campaign. Now it's a snowball that won't stop rolling without trouble.
I'll stop it. It'll stop. It has to. Where is this thing he has written?
I told you, I don't know.
Nuts! Where is Green?
I don't know that either. I thought you had him.
We don't believe that. None of us do. You were supposed to take care of him. You have him hidden someplace. We want you to tell us where.
This is a waste of time.
The devil it is! There's more, Bud. Get out of here, Maxine. Now we'll try my way. You'll kill him if I have to. Let go. Get away from me. Mel, take her out. Watch it. Get away from the stove. Oh!
It sounds almost too pat reporting it, but there was nothing sure about it there, in that kitchen. The three of them were grouped together, and the coffee pot on the stove was within reach, so I threw it. The effect of the scalding liquid on them gave me time to get through the door before they recovered, and enough time to gain the street before I heard running feet behind me. The first public telephone sign I spotted hung over the entrance of a bar and grill.
He's bigger and he's faster. I'll take him over Charlie anytime.
Will you give me a couple of nickels, please?
Ooh. Oof. Who did you want?
Could I have a couple of nickels, please?
If you're calling the police, meet them someplace else, will you? They drive the customers away. And here you are.
Thanks.
His face is a mess, huh?
Central Precinct.
Is Lieutenant Branch still on duty?
I'll see. Who's calling?
My name is Dollar. I was with him on a homicide case this afternoon.
Hold on. Go ahead. Hello, Dollar. I've been trying to reach you. Your man Green showed up.
Oh, where is he?
Undercover. He was out when his room was ripped off. When he came back and saw it, he knew they'd be after him.
Where is he now?
At another hotel. The Elwood.
I guess he knows enough to stay there.
I think so. He took the death of that man Arno pretty big. Scared to death.
I've got a line on that Arno thing.
Yeah.
The people who have been doing Mackenzie's muscle work for him, an ex-girlfriend and a couple of thugs, they picked me up after you left the Bentley. They thought I was hiding Green.
Where are you now?
In a bar on 2nd. I got away. But they're looking for me now. Here's the address. Northwest corner of 2nd and Polk. The right rear apartment. Ground floor.
Got it.
But there won't be anything on them until we get that expose from Green. I'm going to start for his hotel now.
Stay where you are. I'll get a patrol car to you.
I don't think I'd better wait. I've got to get out of this neighborhood. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Good luck.
Who is it?
Dollar. Come on, hurry up.
Yes, just a second. How did you find out where I was?
Lieutenant Branch.
Oh, sit down. What are we going to do, Dollar?
Well, what's happened to our campaigner?
They killed Arno.
I know. He was beaten to death. You should have seen him.
They'll do the same thing to me.
Columnist friends will jump when that happens. Something clever about opening a Pandora's box?
Quit it, Dollar. What are we going to do?
Well, I'm not sure what can be done.
Can't those people be rounded up? You must know who they are.
There are little matters like complaints and warrants to be taken care of before you can round up people in this country. You're in a bad spot, Green. And I don't feel sorry for you because you put yourself there with malice aforethought.
Are you through preaching?
Yes. So what do you have on Mackenzie?
That he's drawing an income from the big wire service.
That's hard to believe. The taxmen would be on to him.
He doesn't declare it. And he keeps his books balanced because the money is scattered around in a few bank accounts under different names.
Things like this are tough to prove. How do you know it's true?
Arno swore it was. He said he could prove it, and would, if I ever had to back up my...
I wouldn't depend on him. Where is that part of your manuscript?
At Grand Central Station. I checked it in one of those self-served lockers. Do you think we could make a deal with Mackenzie?
A deal?
I'll turn the manuscript over to him if he'll leave me alone.
You stay away from that manuscript. I'll take care of it. You're in deep for a deal anyway. Mackenzie can't afford to have you running around with that information in your hand.
I'd never touch it again.
It wouldn't work.
Even if I got out of town and stayed out?
People have tried that. When it's the big syndicate, you can't get far enough.
Who's that? You've been followed.
Who is it?
Lieutenant Branch.
Hi.
Yeah, you look like the devil.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a day.
Anything now?
Not enough. Did you make the place at 2nd and Polk?
I staked it out. Nothing stirring yet. Apartment's in the name of an old crow named, Maxine Silver.
I don't think the men will go back.
Are you sure you lost them?
I should have. I spent an hour jumping from one cab to another. They tried to kill me.
Oh? Where do you think they'll go?
Back to the Bentley, where they found me.
I staked that out too. Plain clothesmen and no squad cars.
So, you want me to walk in and take the chance of getting my head blown off so your boys will recognize them? Why do you people always want to start at the bottom? What about Mackenzie?
We'd have to have something. He's harder to touch. With these thugs, we'll at least be starting.
Green?
Yes?
Arno held some information back on you. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Do you have any idea what it was?
The name of the woman who set up those phony bank accounts for Mackenzie.
A woman?
Yes. They were more than friendly once. Somebody from the old days.
Yeah. Okay, Lieutenant. We know where she is. Let's try the Hotel Bentley. Expense account. Item 3. $120. Cab fare back to the Hotel Bentley and Lieutenant Branch's stakeout. I couldn't help thinking on the way about the strange loyalty that had kept these two people associated through the years. The woman, Maxine Silver, a florid, unattractive old lady living in a sordid flat, who still sported youthful makeup in spite of her dirty gray hair and shapelessness. And Mackenzie, opulent, married, and on the surface a conservative businessman who had left the woman far behind. I never did figure out the association. What do I owe you?
$1.20.
Here you are, keep it.
Thank you, sir.
There they are.
Oh!
The other one!
Wait till he's in the clear.
Get him! This way! Expense account. Item 4. $93.75. Food, lodging, etc. Expense account item 5. Same as item 1. Transportation back to Hartford. Before I left, the state and federal man, on the strength of Lester Green's facts, were developing their case against Mackenzie and the woman. I have one suggestion to pass along to the company. Green has decided to drop his idea of what the lending libraries need. But he's caused too much trouble already. I suggest that you drop the hint among the policy sellers that he's not a good risk. Mackenzie's circle doesn't forget. I wouldn't give $1 for his life. Come to think of it, I almost did. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. The expose matter on The Joe Bev Show. We'll have more Johnny Dollar next time. Please subscribe to The Joe Bev Show on YouTube. And if you can't get enough Joe Bev, just log on to the web, go to Amazon.com, and search for Joe Bev.